The human body was never designed for heat like this. Imagine stepping outside and feeling the air pressing against your skin like a burning wall. Not dry desert heat, but thick, suffocating air filled with moisture so intense that your sweat can no longer cool you down. Your heart races. Your breathing becomes heavier. Even standing still feels exhausting. In parts of Dubai, this is no longer a rare event. It is becoming the new reality. What makes this terrifying is not just the temperature itself. It is the combination of brutal heat, rising humidity, and endless concrete trapping warmth across the city. Scientists warn that conditions are moving dangerously close to the limits of human survival. It's not because people are weak, because the laws of physics are beginning to overpower the human body itself. Dubai has always been known as a city of the future. Giant skyscrapers, luxury islands, endless ambition rising from the desert. But behind the glowing skyline, another story is unfolding, a battle against nature that is becoming harder every single summer. And the most frightening part, this may only be the beginning. Subscribe to the channel for more deep documentaries about extreme weather, climate disasters, and the future of our planet. Dubai has always been hot. Long before the skyscrapers, luxury hotels, and artificial islands, this land was a harsh desert where survival depended on understanding the rhythm of the sun. For generations, people adapted to the environment by traveling with the seasons, resting during the hottest hours, and respecting the extreme power of the desert climate. But over the last few decades, everything changed. The futuristic megacity rose from the sand. Towers of glass and steel transformed Dubai into one of the most ambitious cities on Earth. Yet the very materials used to build this modern paradise are now making the heat even more dangerous. Its concrete, asphalt, and glass absorb enormous amounts of solar energy throughout the day. Instead of cooling after sunset, the city continues radiating heat deep into the night. In some parts of Dubai, summer temperatures now climb above 45 degrees Celsius, while humidity from the Persian Gulf pushes the feels-like temperature to terrifying levels. Stepping outside can feel less like walking through air and more like entering a giant furnace. And this is where the real danger begins. Because scientists warn the problem is no longer just extreme heat. The city itself is starting to amplify the crisis, trapping millions of people inside an environment growing hotter year after year. Dubai is no longer fighting heat from the desert alone. The city itself has become part of the problem. Scientists call this the urban heat island effect, a phenomenon where massive urban areas trap and intensify heat far beyond the surrounding environment. In Dubai, the effect is extreme. During the day, highways, skyscrapers, parking lots, and concrete sidewalks absorb enormous amounts of solar radiation. The dark asphalt acts almost like a giant heat battery, storing energy for hours under the relentless sun. Then night arrives, but the heat does not disappear. Instead, the city slowly releases that trapped energy back into the air, keeping temperatures dangerously high even after midnight. The architecture also plays a major role. Giant towers create narrow corridors that trap hot air between buildings, preventing cooler winds from circulating through the streets. Glass-covered skyscrapers reflect sunlight onto nearby surfaces, creating waves of radiant heat that make outdoor conditions feel even more unbearable. In some neighborhoods, the temperature inside the city can remain several degrees hotter than the surrounding desert. The air feels heavy, thick, almost difficult to breathe. Even short walks outside can become exhausting under the crushing combination of heat and humidity. What makes this especially alarming is that there is often no real recovery period. The heat continues day after day and night after night. What is the hottest temperature you have ever experienced? Comment below. It's the true danger in Dubai is not just the temperature shown on a weather app. It is something far more frightening, a scientific measurement known as the wet bulb temperature. This is the point where humidity combine to create conditions the human body may no longer survive. Normally, the body protects itself by sweating. As sweat evaporates from the skin, it removes heat and cools the body down. It is one of the oldest and most effective survival systems humans have. But that system begins to fail when humidity becomes too high. If the air is already saturated with moisture, sweat cannot evaporate properly. Instead of cooling you, it simply drips from the body, while your internal temperature keeps rising. Scientists warn that when wet bulb temperatures approach 35 degrees Celsius, the human body reaches a terrifying biological limit. At that point, even healthy people resting in the shade can begin overheating after several hours of exposure. Drinking water alone may not save you. The body physically loses its ability to cool itself. And this is no longer a distant theory. In parts of the Persian Gulf region, weather stations have already recorded brief moments approaching or crossing this dangerous threshold. That changes everything. Because this is no longer about discomfort, it is about survival itself. It's a future where stepping outside for too long during summer could become life-threatening for millions of people living in some of the hottest cities on Earth. When the human body begins losing its battle against extreme heat, the warning signs can appear frighteningly fast. At first, it may feel manageable: heavy sweating, exhaustion, dizziness, or a pounding headache under the blazing sun. But in conditions like those seen in Dubai's peak summer, the body can rapidly spiral into something far more dangerous. As internal temperatures continue rising, dehydration accelerates. The heart works harder to push blood toward the skin in a desperate attempt to release heat. Breathing becomes more difficult. Muscles weaken, confusion slowly sets in. Even simple tasks like walking across a parking lot or waiting outside for transportation can become physically overwhelming. Then comes the most dangerous stage: heat stroke. This is the moment when the body's cooling system starts shutting down completely. Sweating may suddenly stop. Skin becomes hot and dry. The brain begins to malfunction under the extreme temperature stress. Victims can experience delirium, seizures, collapse, and eventually organ failure if cooling does not happen immediately. What makes this terrifying is that it does not only threaten the elderly or vulnerable. Under severe wet bulb conditions, even healthy adults can be at risk after prolonged exposure outdoors. In a city where summer heat is growing more extreme every year, simply existing outside for too long may eventually become a serious threat to human survival. While millions of people in Dubai can escape the heat inside air-conditioned homes, malls, and offices, there is another side of the city that often remains invisible. Hundreds of thousands of migrant workers continue working outdoors under some of the harshest temperatures on Earth. They build the skyscrapers, repair the roads, deliver supplies, and keep the city functioning even during the peak of summer. For these workers, the heat is not an inconvenience. It is a daily physical battle. By mid-morning, temperatures on construction sites can already become unbearable. Steel surfaces burn under direct sunlight. Asphalt radiates heat upward from the ground. Thick humidity makes breathing feel heavier with every passing hour. Sweat pours constantly, yet the body struggles to cool itself fast enough. The UAE government introduced mandatory midday breaks during the hottest summer months, banning outdoor labor during the most dangerous afternoon hours. Companies are also required to provide shaded rest areas and water. These protections have helped reduce risks, but they cannot eliminate the extreme conditions workers still face before and after the break period. Many laborers continue working for hours in temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius, day after day, month after month. They are the human foundation beneath Dubai's futuristic skyline, and as the climate grows more severe, they may become the first people forced to confront the true limits of survival in extreme heat. To survive its extreme climate, Dubai has become one of the most air-conditioned cities on Earth. In many ways, air conditioning is no longer a luxury here, it is a life support system. Homes, offices, shopping malls, metro stations, hotels, and even some outdoor bus stops rely on constant cooling, just to remain usable during the summer months. Without artificial cooling, large parts of the city could become almost impossible to comfortably inhabit for long periods of time. But hidden inside this technological solution is a dangerous paradox. The hotter Dubai becomes, the more electricity is needed to power millions of air conditioners across the city. During peak summer periods, cooling systems consume an enormous share of the region's total electricity demand. Entire power grids work non-stop simply to keep indoor spaces livable. And much of that energy still comes from burning fossil fuels, the same process driving global warming worldwide. This creates a vicious cycle. Rising temperatures increase the demand for cooling. Increased cooling requires more energy. More energy production releases more greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, pushing temperatures even higher in the future. In other words, the very technology helping people survive today may also be intensifying the long-term climate crisis tomorrow. Dubai now stands at the center of a global question humanity still has not answered. Can technology truly solve climate change, or are we simply building more powerful systems to temporarily escape it? Technology can adapt to almost anything, but can it outrun nature itself? Comment yes or no below. Faced with rising temperatures and worsening climate conditions, Dubai is fighting back with some of the most ambitious engineering projects on Earth. The city is no longer simply adapting to the desert, it is actively trying to redesign how people survive inside it. One of the most surreal examples is Ski Dubai, an indoor ski resort built in the middle of the desert. Inside, visitors can experience snow, freezing temperatures, and ski slopes while deadly heat burns just outside the walls. It feels almost like science fiction brought into reality. But the city's response goes far beyond indoor cooling. Dubai and the UAE are investing heavily in futuristic climate technologies, including cloud seeding programs designed to increase rainfall in one of the driest regions on Earth. Aircraft release special particles into clouds, attempting to trigger artificial rain over the desert. Other projects focus on reflective road surfaces, cooler building materials, and urban designs meant to reduce heat absorption across the city. These innovations show how far human engineering can go when survival is at stake. But they also reveal something deeper. Dubai is becoming a giant experiment, a glimpse into how future cities around the world may one day struggle to survive in an increasingly hotter climate. Dubai is often presented as a symbol of the future, a city built from ambition, technology, and limitless human imagination. Towering skyscrapers rise from the desert. Artificial islands stretch into the sea. Entire indoor worlds protect millions from the brutal climate outside. But beneath that futuristic image lies a growing question that reaches far beyond one city. What happens when the environment becomes too extreme for normal human life? Dubai may be one of the first places confronting that reality on a massive scale. Rising temperatures, dangerous humidity, and expanding urban heat are turning survival itself into an engineering challenge. Every year, more energy, more cooling systems, and more technology are needed simply to maintain daily life. And yet, despite all the innovation, nature continues pushing back. That is what makes Dubai so important to the rest of the world. It is not just a city facing climate pressure. It is a warning, a preview of the difficult future many regions may eventually experience as global temperatures continue rising. It's the city of the future is now standing on the front line of climate change, holding its breath as the heat keeps climbing higher. If this story changed the way you see the future, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our next deep documentary about extreme weather and climate disasters.